3,000 feet up now, I'd say. Wow, look at that. Nobody's gonna believe us except I got it on film, huh? I keep losing it. There it is.
I can't get it.
There goes a jet right by it. Well, a little higher. There's the jet, and there's the saucer. I got a better view of it now. Wow.
Investigating the Buga Sphere is one of the most interesting UAP phenomenons of this decade, and while many of you watching may still believe the sphere is nothing more than a hoax, where people are wanting to exploit these anomalies for profit, we have to investigate some earlier cases with eerily similar properties. There have been metal spheres found dated back to pre-Cambrian times, which under normal scientific principles we've come to know isn't possible.
Was found years ago was an entire field of spheres that are made of a metal that is not native to our planet as we know it today. It's been combined in alloy in a way that does not happen naturally. But the thing is, the spheres are all machined. They have machined grooves around them. Some of them are very large. They're feet in diameter. Some of them are only a few centimeters or inches in diameter. You're seeing some on the screen right now. But here's the thing. These mysterious spheres in South Africa are now being dated. Look at this. 570 million years before present. Now, I just want to give you some context. What you're seeing is a geologic map of time. You're seeing the most recent at the top, and the old strata, again, is at the bottom. And we've talked about the Permian, the Ordovician periods, the Pleistocene period near the top. These spheres are coming from a time at the bottom of the geologic timetable before life began. At this time, if there was life, it was only primitive single cell, maybe amoebas, very primitive biological life. It's called pre-Cambrian period. So this is the mystery. What are these technologically advanced machined spheres doing in South Africa at a time when not only are there no humans, but the most advanced forms of life known at that time were single cells? Now you're getting a sense of what out-of-place artifacts are all about. There are so many out-of-place artifacts. Scientists now, again, they put them into a separate pile and they said, you know, these don't fit the traditional story. We're going to have to come back and look at these later. Well, later is now.
Está dando vueltas al mundo entero y es que aparecen otras dos esferas misteriosas en Buga, Colombia. Muchos se preguntan si están conectadas con la primera esfera que cayó del cielo en esa parte del país colombiano hace unas semanas y que hoy está en México para ser estudiada. Para unos es un artefacto extraterrestre, ahí ven la fotografía, y para otros es solamente tecnología. Bueno, sea como sea, es de interés y curiosidad. Así que nos conectamos a esta hora en vivo con David Vélez, quien estuvo cuidando esa primera esfera capturada en Colombia. David, bienvenido a La Voz de la Mañana. ¿Usted cómo está?
Hola, ¿cómo están? Buenos días. Muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Con bastantes preguntas para usted y poco tiempo, desafortunadamente. ¿Cómo llega a sus manos esa primera esfera y qué instrucción recibió para cuidarla?
Bueno, esto es un hallazgo que pues es insólito. Esto nunca ha pasado en la historia de la ufología, que una esfera haya caído y que la haya recuperado una persona, un campesino, y me la ha entregado a mí como un empresario de Germany Company para empezar a hacerle los primeros análisis que se hicieron en Colombia de la esfera. La tuvimos en nuestras manos.
Cuando usted la vio, cuando la recibió, ¿qué fue lo que pensó? Primer pensamiento que se le cruzó por la mente, ¿cuál fue?
Inmediatamente cuando palpé este artefacto sabía que esto no pertenecía a esta tierra por el material, por el frío que tenía este material y por la calidad del material que en sí se veía. No es de ese planeta, no humano.
¿Ha considerado posiblemente que sea esto tecnología o un anuncio publicitario?
Ya se ha descartado el anuncio publicitario porque al principio se sacó un logo un logo de la compañía German, y los videos pues se hizo solamente por mimbretear el video, pero esto ya ningún video está saliendo con este logo. Ahora en este momento la esfera se está investigando en la UNAM, una de las universidades más importantes de Latinoamérica.
Ahora se investiga ya, pero también aparecen dos esferas más. ¿Usted ha visto las imágenes? ¿Se parecen las esferas? ¿Qué piensa usted al respecto?
Sí, por supuesto que se trata de un suceso totalmente independiente, pero estamos hablando que son los mismos artefactos. Son las mismas esferas porque se le hizo un acercamiento con fotografía. La persona que filmó estos dos, son dos esferas que aparecieron en el mismo lugar, en la misma localidad de Buga. De una punta a otra punta de Buga aparecieron, y las fotografías son exactamente iguales a las que tenemos en este momento en la UNAM, solamente exactamente.
Ahora, usted habla que cuando tocó esta esfera era bastante fría. ¿Qué más llamó la atención, aparte de estos jeroglíficos tan extraños que tiene?
Lo más impactante de esta esfera es el cambio de peso que tuvo en 4 o 5 días, de pesar 2 kilos a pesar 10 kilos.
O sea, ¿empezó
Eso
a
fue lo más
crecer?
impactante.
¿Empezó a crecer de tamaño o
No,
solamente de peso?
No, solamente el peso. El peso cambió muy regularmente, y esto pues nos sorprendió mucho. Ahí fue donde nos dimos cuenta que este artefacto no podía estar en las manos de la compañía Germany, tenía que estar en manos de personas expertas.
Ahora, ¿qué espera usted de esta investigación llevada a cabo en este momento por la UNAM allá en México?
Estamos esperando los resultados que se están dando a cabo poco a poco, ya que los permisos puntuales de que salgan los rostros de los científicos y las firmas, todavía no se ha llegado a un acuerdo con la UNAM, porque pues esto es algo impactante, algo muy grande, y pues obviamente los científicos tienen miedo de esto.
Totalmente de acuerdo. Ahora, considerando lo que se sabe a este momento, usted la recibió de las manos de este campesino, la tocó, vio cómo aparentemente, según cuenta, incrementó el peso, ¿no?, de esta esfera. ¿Qué piensa usted? ¿De dónde viene esta esfera?
Bueno, se supone que esta esfera tiene tecnología no humana, ya que le encontraron en la parte de adentro silicio, o sea que es fibra óptica, y la fibra óptica se utiliza para sensores. O sea que en este momento creemos y estamos casi seguros que estas esferas son sondas que están investigando, o vienen a sondear las personas, o vienen a investigar terreno, humedad, clima, temperatura, porque tiene cientos y miles de sensores por medio de fibra óptica.
¿Se siente usted diferente después de haber estado en contacto con esta esfera?
Sí, los primeros días me dieron un poquitico de fuegos en la boca, pero creo que es normal. Pero al señor José sí le dieron náuseas, y la huella digital de los dedos se le perdieron durante casi 8 días.
Bueno, David Vélez, hace usted noticia el día de hoy a nivel internacional con esta historia, y qué bueno que se conectó aquí con La Voz de la Mañana. Suerte y muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias a ustedes.
Rodolfo, ¿qué es lo que estamos viendo aquí?
Bueno, este es el band de Graaf, ya lo he explicado anteriormente. Hoy le voy a quitar la esfera de descarga. Aquí es por donde el haz, de alguna forma, viene de aquí hacia allá, más hacia el menos, ¿ok? Entonces lo voy a quitar, lo vamos a hacer a un lado, lo vamos a desaparecer de aquí. Y ahora vamos a acercar, en lugar de eso vamos a acercar la esfera de Buga, pero no está conectada a tierra. Puede verse abajo que hay una base de níquel o de vidrio, no está conectada a tierra. Está sobre una mesa que incluso tiene aquí una formica. Vamos a extender a ver qué pasa con la estática. Y inmediatamente empieza a trabajar la esfera, y date cuenta cómo de inmediato y de una manera muy fortalecida las esferas inmediatamente responden a la estática. Y aclaro, la esfera de Buga no está conectada a tierra. Sin embargo, la esfera de Buga está pasando cargas acá y está permitiendo la estática.
¿Qué quiere decir?
Que la esfera de Buga tiene ese principio de generar las cargas para generar la estática. Genera las cargas para generar la estática.
Y esas cargas las utiliza ella misma.
Claro, cuando está girando, eso que es el principio que nosotros estamos hablando, es hipotético. Pero varias pruebas que estamos haciendo de diferentes modos nos está indicando que así es. Y ve la estabilidad que tienen las esferitas dentro del campo de estática. Sí, y están pero perfectamente estables. Es un campo estable, fijo. Fijo, perfecto.
Incluso si se apaga
Se mantiene la estática hasta que se vaya perdiendo gradualmente. Porque está cerrado, esta es una cabina cerrada. Pero si lo apagamos y descargo, otra cosa es, ¿verdad? Cambia inmediatamente la estática, se va perdiendo gradualmente. Es estática residual que se va perdiendo con el tiempo, que guardó el material mismo. Es como el globo que lo guarda.
¿Es una confirmación de algo esto?
Pues sí, la esfera está generando cargas necesarias y adecuadas que no está a tierra, ¿eh? O sea, la está generando la misma esfera y genera la carga necesaria para que esta esfera pueda ser estática. Eso es lo interesante, porque cuando empieza a girar, entonces esta esfera que está aquí se genera adentro de la misma esfera, de Buga, y la superficie genera lo que está aquí adentro, el campo estático, y es lo que reacciona con la carga de la atmósfera. Entre más carga hay en ella, su diferencia de potencial es más alto y es atraído por las cargas de la atmósfera y permite la levitación.
¿Por eso puede levitar? Pues,
Ese es un principio.
o sea, estas esferas hacen lo que haría la esfera.
Sí, exactamente. Esta es la representación de lo que haría la esfera. Exactamente.
Another recent story was presented by journalist Ross Coulthard on a Mr. Jim Marlin. According to Mr. Marlin, he has in his possession a sphere that once again is remarkable in that it looks very similar to the Buga version. Mr. Marlin claims his sphere is a product of alien technology, and it's been part of his family's furniture for more than 40 years. It's a part of me now, he told 7 News Spotlight from his home in Texas. I've taken it with me everywhere I go, and I can't explain why, but sometimes I feel like it's protecting me, Marlin added. He also explained with conviction, I've seen it do some things I can't explain. Let's review Mr. Coulthard's investigation on the Marlin Sphere.
Our story brings us to Texas. I'm on my way to meet an extraordinary man with an even more incredible story. All I have is a grid reference. All will be explained.
I've had this thing for over 40 years. It's a part of me now. I've taken it with me everywhere I go, and I can't explain that.
You reckon it's been looking after you, don't you?
Sometimes I feel like it's protected me.
We've all seen those underwhelming images of UFOs, the distant, blurry images where you can't see much at all. So we've come here to Texas, we're not allowed to say where exactly, to meet a gent who tells us he may well have solid, testable evidence of alien technology. And it's been part of his family's furniture here for over 40 years. Enter Jim Marlin. Jim Marlin is claiming that he's got alien technology.
Wow.
But he's also been an incredibly successful music promoter.
On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again.
He's the guy who launched Willie Nelson's music career as an outdoor performer.
Can't wait to get on the road again.
Thank you very much. He's gone all over America doing multi-million-dollar concerts, and he made a lot of money out of it. And the funny thing is that all through that career, he took this silver ball with him, this silver sphere.
And this is Dennis Hopper, the movie star. He was one of my absolute best friends. And then that's me.
Very famous actors from a multitude of different Hollywood movies, performers, singers, songwriters.
That's Neil Young.
Jane Fonda. They've all touched this sphere.
I was living in New Mexico, and a friend of mine, Dennis Hopper's bodyguard, wanted me to come out and see his house. It was way out in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. We went out there, and there was a pile of these spheres laying in his yard.
How many?
Maybe 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly. There was just a pile of them. And I was amazed, because I'd never seen anything like these. And I thought, what the heck is that? And he said, I'd tell you, but you wouldn't believe me. And I said, well, try me. And he said, well, Jim, I swear to God, a UFO came over my house and dropped these out in my yard. And he said, they've been sitting there ever since. And I was amazed at him. And he said, do you want one? You can have one. So I took it. Well, I've had it for over 40 years, so I've seen it do some things that I can't explain. As I was laying on my back on my floor, and I was just mindlessly rubbing my feet on the sphere while I was talking to a friend of mine. And when suddenly there was this flash of light, and I was shot across the floor on my back. I was 6 to 10 feet away from the sphere. It knocked me that far away from it. You know, and there's no explanation for that.
You think that's alien technology, don't you?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
That's a huge claim.
I can't imagine what else it is. I just can't imagine why something like this moves around, why it would flash light. But I have since seen videos on the internet of spheres just like this one, flying in the air, doing all kinds of things. And apparently they're all over the world.
There's a long history in UFO sightings of, as well as the lenticular disc shape that's often seen in classic UFO sightings. In a lot of sightings, and these have been tracked by a British guy called Patrick Jackson, there are these metallic silvery spheres seen adjacent to these objects. And so Patrick developed a theory that these spheres are some kind of protection mechanism, that they're stopping bad guys from entering Earth's atmosphere. In the 1970s, a family called the Betz Family, they discovered in a forest a silver metallic sphere, very similar to the one that Jim has. And that sphere demonstrated apparent movement, spontaneous movement. When it was investigated, though, it was poo-poo.
Now, the most prominent explanation for the Betz Sphere's movement is that the ball was simply responding to uneven flooring in the Betz family home. It was found to be near perfectly weighted, so that even the smallest deviation might have caused it to roll.
I have seen the videos that you've seen of this ball spontaneously rolling around the floor. And Jim has apparently had this for 40 years. Propulsion inside might we use to conventionally explain it.
Now, I get the impression the Betz family, the family in Florida, they never got an answer, really, as to what their sphere was. It was never resolved.
They wanted to know as bad as I did what it was, and they got no answer. In fact, they got it taken away from them, was what happened to them.
So I'm just going to turn the camera around because this is a very nice gentleman here. This is Jim.
Jim's Jim. Nice to meet you.
So the fact that a scientist of the great reputation of Professor Gary Nolan is at least prepared to consider the possibility that there might be a non-human explanation for the technology that Jim has in his possession is mind-blowing. This is a 50-pound sphere that is unbelievably heavy. It's not doing anything at the moment. But Jim tells us that he's seen it move across the room.
Is it good if you could get some rust or anything on the surface?
If it's okay with you, we might scrape some of the rust off.
You bet.
One of the things that Professor Gary Nolan told me to do was to take samples of corrosion that we could see on the side of the silver sphere, because he said that might help him and his researchers figure out what the metals are that the sphere is made of. We need to weigh it. 50 pounds exactly. I find that very strange. Exactly 50 pounds.
Me too.
If you hold it on there for me, mate. 32 inches, 81 centimetres. I've got a magnet here.
Magnetic.
It's moving.
If this is really alien technology with the ability of anti-gravity, you know, our civilization needs this. And I think it should fall into the right hands.
With the sample secured, We travel nearly 3,000 kilometers west to San Francisco, to the laboratory of Stanford University's immunology professor, Gary Nolan, where a machine awaits with the ability to test the origin of the metal that makes up Jim's mysterious sphere.
So this is a form of a secondary ion mass spectrometer. We call it MIBI, multiplexed ion beam imaging.
So you fire ions at a sample.
Right.
And it can tell you what's in that sample.
Right.
So what I've got here, as you advised, I got scrapings off Jim's ball, the sphere.
Right.
And these are the corrosion shavings.
Okay.
We've wrapped them
Great.
in paper. I couldn't get a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But is this the machine you'd put them through?
Oh, yeah. And we only would be reading off like 50 nanometers of material,
Okay,
which is
well,
what's so great
you've
about
definitely
this.
got that. If there is something anomalous about the sphere, if the sphere is alien, you can see that.
Right.
You'll let us know if there's anything anomalous.
Yes, it'll probably take me about a month.
It's possibly the tip of a huge discovery, if what Jim's saying is true.
If what is true, then you've got basically a UFO scout vehicle sitting in his house in Texas.